Hi guys, so we're going to go through some lower body mobility work this evening. It's going to be a 10-minute lower body flow. We're going to work through 6 to 7 different exercises covering everything from ankle mobility, hip flexors and hips. The whole works, okay? So very good to do this first thing in the morning or in the evening times, but definitely not just before a training session or a gym session, okay? That is a totally different warm-up routine that we'll go through in a different segment. But this one is just going to be your 10-minute mobility flow. Follow along with me. I'm going to be doing everything for the correct amount of time, so you can stay with me in all the different exercises. I'll count you in and tell you when to move on, so on and so forth. It's just going to be 10 minutes of work, so stick with it. I'd recommend sticking this on at least 3 times a week, okay? You really feel the difference in the hips, especially if you stick with this 3 days a week. Just 10 minutes work, as I said, morning time or evening will get it done. So, first movement, we're going to target our hip flexors, okay? Right here, front of the quad, top of the quad, often get very tight, especially when sitting down a lot, okay? Desk jobs or driving in the car, so on and so forth. The position we're looking for, down on one knee, I'm going to start my right knee. Knee right underneath my hip, and on the front leg, get my foot underneath my knee as well here, okay? We're going to rotate our pelvis, tuck our pelvis under our body, and then shoot the hips forward just a small little bit. And we're going to hold there for 1 minute, okay? So hips go forward, shoulders stay back, keep your posture upright, tuck the pelvis under, and just hold that position for 1 minute. While we're in this position, big deep breaths. So in through the nose, right into the belly, okay? So not up here, fill up your stomach, okay? Right down to diaphragmatic breathing, exhale through your mouth. Okay, so fill up the lungs, fill up your stomach, in through your nose, right down to your belly, exhale out through your mouth. So let's try and inhale for 5 seconds. Exhale for 7. And switch over sides. Good, there's your minute. So that's the sort of breathing that we're going to try and go through as we're doing all of these stretches. So big belly breaths, in through your nose, 5 seconds in, 7 seconds out through your mouth. Same thing, knee underneath your hip, ankle underneath my knee here. Rotate my pelvis under, so tuck my pelvis under my body first, push the hips forward, shoulders come back. You'll feel a stretch right down the front of your leg. Hold that again for 1 minute on the clock. Same story, big deep breaths into your nose, exhale through your mouth and just hold. Good stuff, 15 seconds left. Last 5. 3, 2, 1, and relax out of that. Good stuff, well done. There's your right side and left side done. We're going to get rid of our mat, our support for our knee for the minute. We're going to go into an exercise called the hip snapper. Okay, so hip snapper works on a good few things. Like it says in the title, it's going to get deep into the 2 hips, okay? So we're going to work left and right side, and also you'll feel it in the hamstrings as well. Very tough exercise, but let's get into it and see how we feel. Again, we're going to hold for a minute on each side. So first thing is first, lie face down on your mat. I'm going to start with my left leg. So let's bring my left leg, or your left leg, up as far as you can beside your body. 1 straight line like that. Okay, point your toes forward for now. From there, push yourself up nice and slow. Slowly inch your hands back. Now start pointing your toes towards the ceiling. Hand behind your body, 1 hand in front. Inch your way down to the floor and sit down there. That's the position we're looking for. So at the minute, I'm feeling a great stretch into my right hip, the leg that's bent here into that 90-degree angle. And I'm also feeling a great stretch in my hamstring on my left leg. Try to keep your body upright for now and just hold this position for 1 minute. Okay, so 1 minute on the clock. Hold nice and steady there and try and just breathe into it. So again, big belly breaths, inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth, and try and keep your posture upright as much as you can. So up nice and tall. This would be a great stretch now if you did bring your leg up as far as you could possibly bring it on the left hand side. So with a straight leg, lying face down, bring your leg up as far as you can. Then point your toes towards the ceiling, sitting right down into this position. Great deep stretch into my right hip capsule here. Great stretch in my left hamstring. So we're holding here, big deep breaths for another 20 seconds. Just rock around into it again, play into that movement a small bit if need. If you don't feel it stretch as much, come back out of it, throw the leg up a small bit further and get into the same position again. Just try and get in a small bit deeper this time. So you're playing around, try and really work this right hip capsule here as well as your left hamstring on the ground. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, good. Nice and slowly come out of this, so don't fly out of it. Nice and steady, shake out that right hip. Good stuff. We're going to work that right hand side now. So again, return to face down position. So prone position, right leg up as far as I can. Then push yourself slowly off the ground. Rotate your right foot towards the ceiling. Work your 2 hands back. Then 1 hand behind your body, 1 hand in front, and sit down into it. And hold there. This side is a small bit tighter at me. Always feel my left hand side tightening up a small bit more than my right. So it's going to take a good bit of breathing now to try and relax me into this position. So you do the exact same thing at home. If you're feeling tight in one side over the other, just try and breathe nice and steady into it. Relax the body down into that position. So really deep stretch into that left hip capsule I'm feeling now. Right hamstring as well is also on fire underneath. Point your toes towards the ceiling, try and keep your posture upright. Right in the hip capsule. 20 more seconds. Last 5 seconds. Keep the body up nice and tall. This leg straight. Toes point towards the sky. And relax. Good stuff. Pop out that nice and slowly again. Shake out the left leg. The left hip capsule will feel a small bit weird after this, especially if it hasn't been stretched or mobilized in a long time. Okay, good stuff on them first 2 exercises. Hips should be feeling a hell of a lot looser already. Especially if you have any niggly back pain, this will help big time also. Okay, so third exercise is a 90-90 position, one of my favorites. Okay, do it the whole time before the gym in a dynamic movement, and after the gym or after a training session in this static position here. Front leg at 90 degrees. Okay, so foot, knee and hip 90 degrees, back leg at the same thing. Hip, knee and foot 90 degrees. 1 hand in the middle, 1 hand on the outside, and keep your arms nice and straight. That'll keep your chest up good and tall. I want you to bring your chest down over your front knee. So you can bend 2 hands now, or else you won't be able to get down over the knee. But your starting position is that, up tall, push this knee into the floor, and bring your chest out over that knee. And again, you're going to hold here for 1 minute. So right down over it as much as you can. If you can get down to your elbows or your forearms, absolutely do. But just try and get that chest down to the knee while it's in that position. Some of you might feel a stretch from your right glute, so the glute that's at the back, the whole way up into your lower back as well. If you're extra tight in that area, you will feel a stretch coming from the glute into the lower back. Again, just breathe into it nice and steady. So this 10 to 20 minute mobility flow is something that we've been working on a good bit after sessions and in the evenings, especially when you're doing a small bit extra at home, or you're working from at home and you're not getting the legs moving as much as you used to. You feel yourself tightening up and stiffening up a small bit more. So it also just breaks up the day and gives you that 15 to 20 minutes of just relaxing time to yourself. 5 more seconds. Try and get the chest down closer to your knee. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Slowly pop up out of that, up nice and tall, switch over legs. So front leg now is going to be my right leg, that's the leg I'm going to work on, or the hip capsule I'm going to work into. Back leg is my left, 90 degrees there, 90 degrees at the front. Body up tall first to start off this movement, and then slowly inhale, exhale, let's lean out over that front leg now. Slowly bring yourself down to it. If you can hold that position, that's excellent. If not, let's try and get down to the forearms and really get the chest in over the knee. So this would be something very similar to a pigeon stretch, if you know that one, where your back leg would be dead straight and your front leg would be bent up in this position. I just find this 90-90 position a hell of a lot easier to get in and get out of, and it's a small bit easier on my knee as well. Pigeon stretch relies a good bit on where your foot placement is going to be in terms of taking pressure off your knee. A hell of a lot of people put too much emphasis on the knee capsule while holding this stretch. Again, if you feel a stretch from the back glute up into your lower back, just big deep breaths, let it stretch out, let it relax into it, and try and get the chest down a small bit closer for the last 15 seconds to your knee. It's 5, 3, 2, 1, and pop up out of that. Good stuff, that's 1 minute each side there. Great work, we're going to stay down on the ground. We're going to stretch our adductors and our grinds inside of our legs, okay? So we've probably all seen this position before, where your 2 legs are bent up, 2 soles, your feet in together. Hold on to your toes, your feet, push your 2 knees out. But from here, instead of just sitting in this position, I'm going to try and pull myself towards my chest, towards my toes, and I'm going to hold down there for 1 minute on the clock again, okay? So 3, 2, 1, on we go. Just pull yourself forward, slowly try and get your chest to your toes. You don't have to be aggressive in this movement, but just once you feel that stretch, hold it there, and then try and relax into it with your breathing. And if you can go a small bit further than each time, we'll do that. But there's no need to be in pain here trying to get into any positions. Again, 5 seconds in, 7 seconds out. Push the knees right out, try and get your chest a small bit closer to your toes again. Really good stretch for your lower to mid back also, as well as your adductors and your grinds. Five seconds. 3, 2, 1. Good, slowly pop up out of that again, straighten your arms, straighten your legs, shake them legs right out. Good work. Nearly there now, that's great stuff. We're going into stretching our quads, okay, and also ankles here. You'll feel a good stretch up the top of the foot into your ankle. So, pop over onto your knees. Sitting back towards your feet, so 2 feet in together. Sit back onto your ankles. You'll feel a good stretch up the front of the ankles in that position. Then 1 hand behind, 2 hands behind your body, and just hold in that position. So feel a great stretch from the top of my knee up to the middle of my quad, and from the middle of my foot up to the top of my ankle. Again, try and relax down into it for 1 minute. If some of you struggle with ankle mobility into a deep squat, this is a great exercise to open up them ankles. Get them really stretched out. Get a bit of mobility back into them. "20 more seconds here. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Good. Slowly pop up out of that. One hand at a time. 2 hands forward. Bend up the ankles and just sit back towards your toes again to shake out the legs. Good work there. You get a great stretch from the top of the knee, as I said, up to the mid quad, and from the middle of your foot up to the top of your ankle as well. So one more little mobility exercise for you, and this is going to be your deep squat position to open up the hip capsules again. So we're going to stand up for this. Again, try and get your feet out a small bit wider than you would normally go with your squat position. Slightly point your toes out for this exercise. We're going to drop down low into a deep squat. Elbows inside our knees, hands together, and just push them knees out while trying to sit down as low as you can into that position. Keep your shoulders and chest up nice and tall, and just hold there. Again, try and breathe into this position and just let your hips drop lower and lower with each exhale. It's going to work a small bit of ankle mobility into it while we're down in this position. Just rock over onto your right hand side and try and push your knee over your toes. You feel it stretched right into the front of the ankle here. At the same time, driving out your left knee, you feel it into your left hip capsule. Back over to your left knee over your toes. You feel it right into the front of the left ankle. Keep the chest up nice and tall again, and just hold there, pushing the 2 knees right out again. We'll hold this for 10 more seconds. 5 seconds, push the 2 knees out. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Shake out the legs, shake out them hips. They're going to feel a small bit weird, a small bit loose and free at the minute, okay? Because again, as I said, most of you probably haven't done much work into them hips in a long time. But your body really adapts very quickly to doing this sort of exercise, this sort of routines, okay? If you get the feeling tomorrow as if you're after doing a gym session within your hip capsules, you'll still get that dumb sort of feeling if you're after exploring ranges within the hip capsule or within the hip flexors that you haven't probably explored in a few weeks or months, okay? So don't be worried if you're getting some sort of, not niggly feeling, but a dull sensation within the hips tomorrow. That will go away within 24 to 48 hours, especially after not stretching them muscles or not getting as deep into them positions as you did in a long time. Okay, so just be wary of that tomorrow. Try and do this again, as I said, minimum of 3 days per week, but you'll feel a great difference, especially from the hips the whole way down to the ankles by doing that 10-minute flow. Thanks very much, and hopefully you tune into the next one.